Right, guys, what is going on? Welcome to the Kazalex Podcast. Now, I'm hoping this is going to work, and it looks like it is working. This is something that I haven't done before. I've done the Kazalex Podcast, but I haven't done it live. But I'm not doing it live. I've got the privacy on public, so we started, and for the first time I've ever done a live stream since I got my live stream situation sorted, no one is joining the stream, and that is because, hold on, I'm sorry I'm looking at the screen a lot, guys, but if you're listening to this, which you probably just should be listening, if you want to watch, you can watch. This is the podcast after all. But yeah, so it's working, we're live, it's happy days. So right, what is going on, guys? I'm not gonna keep clicking around and looking at the screen. It's just I'm doing this live because for a few reasons. Let me talk to you guys. Let me say why. We'll just get this all sorted and then we'll start. Basically, guys, I'm doing these podcasts live from now on. Now, I might do them live so that you guys can watch them as well. I might do them live in the sense that I don't do it private. So what I'm doing now is I'm live streaming this, but I'm live streaming it privately, so no one can see it. And I'm only doing it because after the live stream, what happens is YouTube takes the live stream that you've done and it uploads it separately, so it just uploads it as a normal video. So that makes podcasts a lot easier for me, because if you don't know, my rendering times, etc., and upload times, my upload times are alright, they're quite good actually, but my rendering times are brutal. So when I render the podcast, it takes way too long, and I want to get this up before New Year, so this is the only way to do it. I'm filming this at 6:42 p.m. If I was rendering this and then uploading it, I probably could get it up before New Year, but I'd have to, it'd just be annoying and it'd be a close call, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just sitting here right now looking at my live sub count, which just went up by 1 subscriber. I'm only looking at the sub count because I've got nothing else to look at. I could look at the live dashboard here, but I feel like it's a bit distracting. There's too much going on, so I look at the sub count. We're going to talk, guys. We've got a lot of topics today that we want to talk about. I know a lot of you love the podcast, and I just want to take this opportunity to say, if you love the podcast and you watch the podcast, I cannot thank you enough. I was listening to the Smith Plays podcast the other day. I can't remember what episode, but the one before his latest one. It's the one where he did a solo one, 2 hours long. Like, it's amazing. I listened to it yesterday at work, and it was awesome. So I listened to that, and I remember him saying, for those of you who listen to the podcast, like, you're legends. And I completely understand where he's coming from, because if you watch my Rocket League content, you're a legend. But if you watch the podcast, or listen to the podcast even, like, this is so personal. It's so just raw me, if that makes sense. It's just me having a conversation with myself and with you guys technically, and you guys just listen. No, it isn't. It's me having a conversation with myself and you guys listening in, but I'm like talking to people. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm talking to a camera at the end of the day. And that's something that if people watch that and listen to that, it's just awesome to know that people do that. And the podcast obviously is the least popular thing on my channel, as I would expect. Everyone comes to my channel for Rocket League content. Only a few people enjoy the podcast, but there are people who really do, and I really enjoy making it. So the podcast is something that I think I'm always going to do. And this is another thing the Smith Plays said. I take a lot of inspiration from the Smith Plays because he's like my favourite guy in the world. But another thing he said was, even if he stops doing YouTube one day, even if he can't do YouTube one day for whatever reason, or he just stops, he's still going to want to do the podcast, and I completely understand that, and I'm completely with that as well. If I ever have to stop you doing YouTube, I still want to have a podcast, because even if no one listens to it, it's so good to have for yourself. It's like a diary almost. You record and what you think about certain things in life, how you feel about life, all throughout your life. I should be doing it every week, but I'm not, because it's hard. But now that I'm doing it, live streaming it, if this works fine, I should be able to do it every week, because all I got to do is click live stream, do it, and then I can forget about it. I got to do the thumbnail, obviously, but it's already done for me. I've already done the thumbnail. If you guys don't know, I got a thumbnail from Prism Creates on Twitter. I paid him like something like £2-3, and he made me a nice thumbnail. I just thought £2-3, it's worth it to have a nice thumbnail for the podcast, and I never have to change it again. I probably will change it again, just because, you know, I like a bit of change, but I think the thumbnail's really nice. Man, I was thirsty then. Damn. Okay, that was needed. Alright. New Year. 2017, guys. 2017. Now, you a lot are probably sitting around making your New Year's resolutions. A lot of people do make New Year's resolutions. I'm probably going to make New Year's resolutions, but not in the sense of a New Year's resolution, if that makes sense. So basically, I've got my goals for every year. Every year you started the year where you got these goals in your head. There's things you want to do, milestones you want to achieve, goals you want to achieve during the year. For me, if I could end the year with, I think, you see, I'm saying 10,000 plus subscribers, but I do think I could do better. I really think I could do better. I've seen channels grow so much in a year, and I've been with, if you guys don't know, Azora, a zombies YouTuber. I've been with him since he was about at like, what was it? It was before 1,000, I think like 700 subscribers, something like that. And now he's almost at 200k, and I've been with him the whole time. So I've been with him at the point where he was able to answer every single comment on his old videos. He had little views, little likes, and I've been with him till now. And to see someone grow like that, I think I needed to see that, because it shows me that it's possible. And for those of you who haven't seen that, believe me, it is possible for a channel to still grow on YouTube. People say it's saturated, people say gaming's very saturated, but it's very possible, still very possible. You got to ignore that. Follow your passion, your dream. If you love making YouTube videos, because I can understand how passionate you can get about YouTube. I get very passionate about YouTube. I was gonna live stream this publicly, and I'm kind of thinking I should have, but then again, the chat would be not kicking off, but the chat would be going off, and I'd have to read the chat, and it would just interrupt the podcast. So maybe we'll do them live in the future, publicly. Let me know if you want that in the comments down below on this podcast. I'd really love to know, or on Twitter. But just know that if I do that, I'm not going to be able to read the chat. I'll read it, but I won't really reply to messages unless someone says something that sparks conversation in the podcast. But because the podcast is different to Rocket League. When I'm playing Rocket League, streaming it, I can talk to you guys with ease. If I'm doing the podcast, it's going to interrupt the flow of a podcast. And for those of you who aren't listening to it live, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? He keeps changing topic every 2 seconds and talking to everyone, all these random usernames and that. I'm like, I can't do that, obviously. But back to New Year's resolutions. We don't want to go off on a tangent and forget what we were talking about. Luckily, I've got some notes down here, so I'm not going to forget what I'm talking about most of the time. But yeah, New Year's resolutions. The Smith Plays was talking about this in his podcast, and he's talked about it before. He says they don't work, and I'm not just agreeing with him because it's him, but New Year's resolutions do not work. And the reason behind this, and they can work for a few people, but the reason behind this is exactly how he put it. And I don't want to copy him too much, I really don't, but it's really no other better way of putting it. He said New Year's resolutions is based on procrastination. What does that mean? That means if you're waiting for the new year to start something, you're procrastinating to start something, okay? So you're not starting on the 29th, you're not starting on the 30th. No, you're waiting till the 1st to start it, and you're procrastinating about it. And if you have to wait for the new year to kickstart something for you, chances are you're not going to pull through. He said that his friend owned a gym, and at the beginning of every single year, because of one of the most famous New Year's resolutions is, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get in shape this year. This is the year where I get fit. This friend who owns a gym, every year it's the same. January is like the best year for him. February is an amazing month even. March is amazing as well. And then January, February, March, April, May, June, July onwards, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's because people start their New Year's resolution, they're motivated, and they want to go for it, and then as soon as the going gets hard, as soon as the motivation lacks off, and you gotta rely on pure self-discipline, because motivation doesn't last. And I think I've talked about this before, but motivation does not last. You cannot thrive off motivation, if that makes sense. You can't keep something up just based off motivation. You need to have self-discipline and willpower. You need to be able to do things when you don't want to do them. I don't wake up every single day wanting to make a video, okay? Like, as much as I look like I'm loving making videos, and that is because I do, sometimes in a video, you're going to see me happy in that, whereas I really don't want to be doing it. Normally, when I start the video, I'm in the good mood and I want to do the video, but there's some days where you wake up and I think, I'd rather just sit and play Rocket League without making a video. I'd rather just go do this, sit in bed and watch YouTube videos all day. I'd rather just go on Netflix and binge watch a fucking series, for example, like anything like that. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I do not want to shower, get ready, and make a video. Not that I wouldn't shower anyway, but if I'm not going out the house, then, you know, if I'm staying in bed all day, which I have done before, not really much recently I've been on the grind, but, you know, making a video isn't just me getting up, getting in front of a camera. No, I go shower, I go do my hair, I fucking get the lights all going, so the lights just fucking wake you up like a motherfucker, honestly. Sit in front of the camera, get myself all pumped up, make a video, then that's done. Once that's done, that's fine. Lights off, edit the video, render the video. When the video's rendered, which takes ages, then I gotta upload the video and do the thumbnail, etc. Thumbnails are a pain in the ass to tags and that. So little things like that, and then it's done. So that's a process that you got to love if you want to do YouTube, really. That's why YouTube you're going to struggle to do YouTube consistently if you don't enjoy the process. And that's the same with the gym in a sense, and that all ties in with New Year's resolutions. I'm going to nick them all together. You're just going to give me a chance here. New Year's resolutions, you start them thinking about the end goal, and that has happened with a lot of things. So say, I want to get fit. You don't think about, I'm going to go to the gym every single day, and then each day I'm going to make a little bit of progress, and then that's my goal, and then eventually I'm going to get fit. Now you just think, okay, right, I'm going to get fit, and to do this, I'm going to go to the gym every day. But in your head, you're always thinking about the end goal. And as the Smith player said again, and I know I won't do this in the future, guys, I'll try my best, but I've just listened to a podcast from him like 2 days ago. No, it's yesterday even. And I'm taking a lot of a lot of inspiration from that podcast. If you do that, if you think only about the end goal and you're just doing the things in between just to get to the end goal and you're not really enjoying the things in between, so to put that in a better sense, you don't enjoy working out really, you kind of hate it, but you just want to hit that end goal, you're only going to be able to do that for so long because you're constantly going to get disappointed. Every single night you're going to go to sleep thinking, I'm not on my goal yet, I'm not on my goal yet, I'm not on my goal yet. Whereas if you enjoy working out and you enjoy feeling better every day by working out, and you enjoy seeing the little changes week in, week out, the tiny little changes in both your mentality and on your body, then you're going to go to sleep every night feeling a lot more satisfied and wake up the next day knowing you're just going to hit the gym for 1 hour. That's it. That's all you're going to do. Every day, just hit the gym for 1 hour. Take days off, obviously. That's all you're going to do. It works a lot better like that. And in order to do that, really, you kind of got to love the process. You kind of got to love going to the gym. Now, a lot of you are going to be sitting there thinking, fuck, I don't know how I'm ever going to make myself love going to the gym. And I think you just need to try it properly. Because the gym is amazing. The feeling you get when you've gone to the gym, lifted heavy weights, you've pushed yourself to your limits. Afterwards, you feel on top of the world. During the gym, you're in pain. Yeah, it's like you're putting yourself through stress. You're putting your body through stress for the better. But you are putting your body through stress when you're lifting plates, doing anything at the gym, anything. Even cardio, for example. Cardio, me personally, I can't stand. I hate cardio. But weights, I'm on about more mostly. When you lift weights, you know, you're in pain. You don't enjoy it at the time. Like, I kind of do because you enjoy the pain. But a lot of people maybe don't. But after the gym, you normally feel amazing. And if you don't find the gym fun, then you can at least find the effect afterwards amazing. Because there's no one who goes to the gym and feels bad afterwards. There can't be people like that, surely. When you go to the gym, you gotta feel good. Because you've just done something that not everyone does. You've just pushed yourself to the limits to improve yourself. You've just bettered your body. You've bettered your health, your heart, your brain, everything. You're more awake. You're pumped because you've still got, like, your parts still pumping or whatever fucking biology shit. I don't really know. And yeah, so it's the same with YouTube in a sense, and it's the same with New Year's resolutions. This is how it ties in, boys. You see, New Year's resolutions. You start a New Year's resolution when the New Year comes around. You say, okay, what? Let's not use the gym this time. Let's use YouTube. I want to hit 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Obviously, very far fetched. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen, but you know, it's not really gonna happen. I'm pretending to be me. This isn't my New Year's resolution, but I'm pretending, okay? But in my sense, I could say something like, I want to hit 1 million subscribers in 2017. Now, if I don't enjoy YouTube, yes, because it's a new year, because there's something about the new year that just gives you so much motivation, so much desire, so much passion. That doesn't make sense, the passion part, but so much desire and motivation. The new year it puts that into you, because you're like, new year, new me. And you think like, right, I can achieve these goals. I can do it. This year I'm going to do it. Because motivation it fools you. Motivation does fool you. Motivation can make you feel like you can do all this shit when it really, you forget that you're not self-disciplined. You're not going to be able to do it. And I've fooled myself so many times. Motivation can make you feel like you've already done things. My gym story, my getting fit story goes on for years. So many times I said, right, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do it. This is the time I get fit. 2-3 weeks later, a month later, I've cut my gym down by like 80%. I'm not eating well again, and I'm just back to where I began. And I'd start again. I get a bit of motivation. I watch a motivational video, maybe. I watch someone who's fit say, right, come on, man, just wake up and go to the gym. Just do it, lad. I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck it. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna go to the gym. And it never really lasts, and it never has lasted for me. I'm in a stage now where I'm not going to the gym. I could blame Christmas for that. I'm sure it plays a big part, but that's like the stage I'm at now. We're out of water and I'm so thirsty, which is not a good thing, and I can't leave the podcast to go get water. So these are tough times. Got a bit of water there from yesterday, so that's okay. We got supplies, boys, and we got a coffee, so we're on our way. Don't you worry. Right, what was I saying? New Year's resolutions. Okay, back to the YouTube sort of explanation. Say New Year came along, I said, right, I want to hit 1 million subscribers. The motivation's going to make me say that. The motivation that I'm feeling at that current point in time when New Year hits, right, okay, yes, tomorrow, wake up, make a video, that's it, you're done. Next tomorrow, the day after that, wake up, make a video. You're going to do this, man, just smash it, do all this shit. You know, you plan it out, you get motivated, you get happy, you feel like, oh, I'm going to do it, like it's guaranteed. And then it comes along, I start making some videos. This is me if I didn't like making videos, by the way. I start making videos every day. Like, I don't really like it, but I'm still thinking about that end goal, and I've still got motivation inside of me. 2-3 weeks later, the motivation's worn off. I still got the end goal in my head, but the motivation's not pushing me anymore. I'm not self-disciplined because very few people are self-disciplined these days. I lack the willpower on top of everything else that's going on in your day-to-day life. And you just start to think, right, okay, it comes to that point, okay, I'll let 1 day slip. I'll let 2 days slip. You wake up another day, maybe you do a video that day, then you wake up the day after, like, right, I'll let this day slip. Till it gets to the point where you either just give up completely, or you're uploading so inconsistently, you may as well not be uploading at all. And that goes the same with the gym. It's just take that and put it in the gym. You know, you stop going to the gym one day, then you think, oh, I can let the day slide, because you don't want to go, you just want the end goal. And I think that's the biggest fault with New Year's resolutions. That, and the fact that you got to wait for New Year to do something about your life. You should just start now, if that makes sense. So you can feel good about your New Year's resolutions. You can make goals for yourself, but don't get ahead of yourself. Don't think, in my opinion, if you were sitting here on the 25th of December, no, that's Christmas. If you were sitting here on the 27th of December, and you said, oh, in 4 days' time, I'm going to probably start going to the gym. That's going to be my New Year's resolution. But I'll start in 4 days. That's just the problem there. That is literally the problem there. You should start that day. I mean, maybe the next day at most. That's the problem. That's where the problem lies. You're procrastinating to start something. And doing that is just a sign of what you're going to do later on. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to not do it. You're not going to get it done. And it's just going to end. And that's why gym people at the beginning of in January, the gyms are all filled up. Everyone's just pumping it. They're all smashing. Everyone thinks they're going to reach their goals. And then by March, sort of, I got to keep January, February, March, April. I got to do the whole thing to get April for some reason. January, March, April, May sort of time. You know, the only people you got left in the gym are the people who were already in the gym before, if that makes sense. So that's what I wanted to say about New Year's resolutions. Just be careful. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Make goals for yourself. But don't wait. You don't need to wait for the new year. It's too late for me to tell you now, because I will be uploading this, hopefully, literally as it hits New Year. I'm going to try my best to do that. I might just, I'll try to do that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about New Year's resolutions. I don't want to go too deep into it, but that is literally what it is. They just don't really work. They don't work. And a lot of you are going to sit in there thinking, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. Because motivation, like I said, can make you delusional. Motivation, literally, when you're filled with motivation and the pump to do something, you feel amazing. You feel on top of the world. Trust me, I've been there. Everyone's been there. Where you're so motivated, you're feeling it. You're like, right, I'm really going to fucking do it. I know I'm going to do it. You're so motivated to the point where you think you've already done it, in a sense, if that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of you sitting there know what I'm talking about. Maybe a few of you don't, but you know what I mean. When motivation fills you so much that you feel like nothing can stop you and you will get there. Don't let that fool you. So even if you're sitting there thinking, what's this kid on about? I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to be fit in 2017 because that is my New Year's resolution. Don't fool yourself. That's what I'm saying. Don't fool yourself. Stay self-disciplined. Working on self-discipline is something that I think everyone should do. It's what I'm trying to do the most. Working on getting a routine, a daily routine, allowing some free time, but I need a daily routine. I need to be able to set myself a structure every single day that I can stick to, and I've been trying to do that recently. I can't show you guys now, but I've got a whiteboard next to my bed that I ordered off Amazon. Got that whiteboard, and basically what I do is every night before I go to sleep, I've done this for like 3-4 nights, so it's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to try and make it part of my nightly routine. The only thing I do before I go to sleep, like not a nightly routine, it is literally my only routine. Like, I get into bed and I sit at that board and I write down what I want to get done the next day. So right now, I've literally got tell a story of, make a YouTube video story of well, I can't really say it because I'm going to ruin it, but it's a story that I've got that I wanted to speak about in the podcast or something like that, but I don't think I'm going to do that because now I'm looking at it and it doesn't really look like it's going to fit in the podcast. Video, trying to 100% cherry picker the Rocket League redirect sort of video thing. And then I put literally here, get my dad on the podcast. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he's such an interesting guy. And I think if I could get my dad on the podcast, it'd be quite cool. So I'm interested to do that. And I've got in the corner, it literally says, do this every night, no matter what. Now, this is a really bad example, because last night I stayed at my mate's house. So obviously I wasn't able to do that board thing. And tonight I'm staying at my dad's, so I won't be able to do it again. But normally that is filled with about 5 to 10 things that I want to get done in the day, and I've been doing it. Apart from this is a really bad example. This is stuff that I put on thinking, right, I kind of want to get it done. This wasn't the stuff that I was going to do the next day because I knew I was waking up at my mate's. I didn't get back here till about 5 p.m. and it's 7 o'clock now while I'm doing the podcast. I'm going to my dad's for New Year, etc. So that's a really bad example. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up each day that night before, so I wake up knowing exactly what I got to do, because I feel like a lot of procrastination and a lot of demotivation and a lot of where the lack of self-discipline comes into play. It's where you haven't got what you need to do already set out, and you're thinking like, I should do 1,000 words maybe on my assignment, I should upload a video, but I guess I could do that later. I don't really need to do it. Like, I could do 1,000 words, but if you tell yourself the night before, no, doesn't matter what you fucking think, you're doing 1,000 words on your assignment tomorrow, it can help. It really can help. And I think keep doing that. And if you keep achieving those goals, keep giving yourself confidence that you can do the things you tell yourself you got to do, even if you're not feeling like you want to do it. I feel like if you just keep doing that day in, day out, even if it's small things, giving yourself the confidence to know that you can do things you don't want to do, and that you just pull through it, knowing that the feeling afterwards is going to be worth it, and the savior from the stress that you could be feeling if you don't do it is worth it. Getting that in your head every single night, you can turn it into a habit, and I think that's a really good way to tackle self-discipline. I learned that from a couple of YouTube videos that I watch, because a lot of the things I learned is from YouTube videos, because I spend most of my time with YouTube, to be honest, either I'm making videos or I'm watching videos. So yeah, that's something I didn't even have that down as a note. I just wanted to cover that because, yeah. So, I've talked about all of that. That's happy days. I've got this little, schedule thing now. I've got this, whiteboard on next to my bed, which is good for the planning, and it's happy days. I used to do it on my phone, but I found like it didn't really work. I needed to write it down, and it has worked. It has worked so far, so it's all good. And also when I'm laying in bed, when you lay in bed and you think of a thought, or you think of a really good idea and you're like, all right, nah, I could write this down, but then I'm going to get my phone out, the light's going to just blind me, etc. I can't really be asked, okay, I'll remember this tomorrow at some point, and then that's it, the thought's gone, you never remember it or even think about it again. I don't like that happening, because I get a lot of good ideas before I fall asleep, while I'm just lying in bed with nothing on my mind. Well, no, there's never nothing on my mind, but lying in bed, thinking about all these different things, and then you get all these ideas come into your brain, and that whiteboard being right next to my bed is good for me to just, if I can do it with my eyes closed, because you can write with your eyes closed, it's not good handwriting, but you're still going to be able to read it in the morning. So I'm lying in bed like this, just lying down, I think of something, I'll literally open my eyes a bit, maybe, write it down on the whiteboard, and just close my eyes again. And it's good. I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what I wrote on the whiteboard last night. I look at the whiteboard, and yeah, it's happy days. I'm like, okay, good. And, what video? So the dribble challenge video, that was something that I wrote on the whiteboard the night before, and I woke up, I was like, oh, what video should I do? Oh, look at the whiteboard. Oh, the dribble challenge. Okay, I'm good to go. So that makes sense. So you plan your day the night before, or maybe the day before, whatever, but it's good to plan your day out, because when you don't have a planned day, you know what you need to do, but because it's not in your plan, you just kind of lay it off a tiny bit, and then you maybe just don't even end up doing it, which is what I would do anyway. So, yeah, planning is good. Scheduling is the best way to tackle procrastination. I'd say is one of the best ways to do it. I just floored half a coffee in one go there. But it's good. We get the caffeine rush now. We need that. We don't need it, but I like a bit of coffee every now and again. So, my live stream is saying that one person is watching, but it's private. So unless that's me, I ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. But nah, we're good. I was going to live stream Rocket League today. That's the thing. I was going to live stream Rocket League, but I thought, what better way to start the new year with a podcast? Because the podcast is something that I want to work on, and I want to make just better in the new year. I want to be more consistent with it. for those of you listening, you're probably going to be happy to hear this, but the podcast is probably one of my favourite things to do it and to listen back to it. I love it. Because yes, I do listen back to all my podcasts. So my goals for the new year are just the podcast in general. And I know I just said New Year's resolutions don't work on that, but I did say goals. It's good to have goals in your head, but just don't get carried away with your New Year's resolutions. This is a bit different. My goals for the podcast for the next year is to just be more consistent with it. Want to do weekly. I always have wanted to do weekly. I just never really got around to doing it. But now with this live stream option, if this works, and it should work, I'm kind of skeptical, but it should work. It's going to make my life a lot easier, man. It's going to make the podcast a lot easier. So, oh man, I'm getting... See, right now, I swear, I just got like a rush of excitement and motivation there. And I'm thinking like, oh, I can do it. But I know what I'm like. You need to remember who you are and how your mind works. I know exactly what I'm like. I've gone through way too many times of getting good shit done, doing really well, and then slacking off, and then because of my absolute lack of self-discipline, I just stop doing it. I get lazy, and that's it. So I need to just calm myself down when I get this happy, keep a level head, know that it's going to be very difficult for me to do this podcast every week, even though now I feel like it's going to be easy. I know it's not. It's like when I complete an assignment and I hand it in college and I'm like, why do I always leave it to the last day? Right, okay, you know what? I'm motivated now. I've got no assignments at the moment, but as soon as they hit me with another assignment, I'm just going to do 500 words a day. And if I do that, I'm never going to be behind on assignments. And I've done that not too long ago, a couple months ago, actually, like 1 or 2 months ago, before the Christmas break. We had about a week where we had no assignments on the go. And that's very rare for us. We've normally always got work to do. So I was like, right, okay, I can think, right, quick. So when we get another assignment, I always do it, and I always have done it. I've always left my college work and school work to the absolute, I'm not even on about the last second, guys, I'm on about the last millisecond, like the absolute longest I can leave it and still get the best grade that I know I can get. I leave it till then, and that's just procrastination for you. That's just, I know a lot of people have that. I know that's not just me. I'm not just saying that's me. I know a lot of people deal with that sort of procrastination issue. But we had a phase where we didn't have to hand in work for a while, literally only like a week. And then I was like, right, when they hit us with another assignment, I've got a plan. I'm going to do 500 words a day. If I do that, and I was so happy with myself, I was like, yes, I'm never going to have to stress that much again. 500 words a day is easy. Just sit down for like half an hour to an hour. You can get 500 words out for sure. And what happened? They dropped us an assignment. They dropped us 1, 2... So we got the presentation, we got the pre-production, and my personal statement for my uni application. So I got 3 assignments to do before like January the 15th, something like that. And guess what? Haven't wrote a single letter for any of them. So I let myself get way too ahead of myself for the 100th fucking time in my life, millionth time in my life, and I just didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. So I need to be more realistic is the way to say it as well. I need to be more realistic about my goals when I get motivated and set goals for myself. I need to be more realistic, more knowledgeable about how my mind works, and I need to work on the way my mind works as well as the goal. I feel like, because when you're motivated, you feel like you think about it in the way that, okay, I know I'm kind of all over the place at the moment, but I'm really trying to get a point across here. When you're motivated, how do you put this? Although you fool yourself into thinking that you can definitely do it, no problem, you know in your head that you're going to get tough days. Because of your past experiences. Because I'm sure a lot of you have said you're going to go to the gym many a time before in the past, and you've done it, and you've failed, and you've done it, and you've failed, and you've done it, and you've failed. You know from past experiences that you're going to have days where you don't want to do it. But you're so filled with motivation, you forget how that really feels. And you just... You think to yourself, I know I'm going to have days where I don't want to do it, but what? It's easy. Just do it. As if it's that easy. You trick yourself into thinking it's that easy, if that makes sense. And guys, this doesn't have to be, if you want to understand this better, you don't have to think of it like it's a YouTube thing or think of it like a gym. Just add this, link this theory, if you want to call it, to it's not even a theory, it's fact, but link this, what I'm saying now, to something that you're trying to do in your life that you keep failing on. You know there's days where you don't want to do it, but when you're filled with motivation, you think that you could just do it without wanting to do it. But when the days come along that you really don't want to do something, unless you are self-disciplined as fuck, like, who's that military guy who wakes up at 4 a.m. every morning and has done for years and probably will do for the rest of his life? Joseph Wilkinson, something like that. I'm going to get it wrong, but some guy, some military guy, he's ex-military, ex-officer, I think, or ex-commander, something like that. I'm not really too sure what rank he was. He wakes up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. every single morning and does like an hour workout every single morning without exception. If he's been up all night ill, he'll still do it. Well, if he's ill, I don't really know. We just went up another subscriber. Man, I see, staring at this is just, I like this. I'm staring at a number that's going up every couple minutes, which is insane. Are we going to hit 1,500 by New Year? If I did a live stream of Rocket League, I would. I know I would, but it's worth doing the podcast, man. It's worth it. I need a podcast for the new year. I really want that just on my channel. A podcast for the new year. I think that's just really nice to do. What were we talking about? Self-discipline. And I think we've really covered everything to do with that. I'm sorry that I've gone off on a tangent and completely forgot what I was talking about. But I think we have covered everything to do with self-discipline, New Year's resolutions, motivation, how it can fool you. Yeah, so like, no, what I was saying was motivation can make you forget. You know that you're going to have days where you're going to struggle, but you feel like you're just going to do it anyway. You feel like you trick yourself into believing that you've got this crazy self-discipline and crazy willpower that no matter what you're feeling, you're going to be able to do it. It's the same with, literally last night is a perfect example, okay? So I knew I had a lot to do today, and what I wanted to do today was upload a Rocket League video and do a Rocket League live stream and record a podcast. So I had a lot of stuff to do today, and I wanted to get a bit of college work done as well. And then last night, because my mates came back from uni, my best mates came back from uni from Portsmouth. He's going back on the 2nd of January, and I probably won't see him. So last night he messaged me about 11 p.m. He's like, oh, do you want to come over, man? Like, we'll watch some films or something, just catch up, and then, like, you stay around and whatever. So, and I said to him, I can get the messages up now, but it's just effort. But I said to him, like, as much as I'd love to see you, man, I really don't think I can, because I know, like, what did I say to him? I said, I started off with me saying, if I come to yours, man, I've got to wake up at like 7 something in the morning and I've got to make my way home. Is that cool? He was like, yeah, man, don't worry, I'll wake you up if you don't get up, like, it's fine. Come on, if you got to get up, you got to get up, wake up in the morning, you go home, but just come around tonight, man. So I was like, as much as my body was telling me and my mind was telling me, yeah, you're going to be able to do that, man. You're going to be able to go to his house, stay up to like 3, 4 a.m. and then wake up at 7 a.m. and come back. You know, it's going to be tough, obviously, but you're going to be able to do it, man. Like, you got to do it. You're going to be able to do it. And I was thinking that, and I was almost tricking myself into thinking that I was going to do it. I was like, yeah, I can do that. I'll just wake up at 7 and come back. But because I've experienced this so many times, so many, my life revolves around this, just in, out, start, fail. My life is literally been that. I know that I'm not waking up at 7 in the morning. Like, I know myself way too well. And I managed to snap myself back into reality, and I knew that, right, mate, I said to him in the end, I said, right, mate, I'm coming to yours, let's not fool ourselves here. I didn't say this word for word, but like, more or less, we're not waking up at 7 in the morning. Me and you are both absolutely awful at waking up. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to come round. I'll stay round, wake up whenever, and I'll just come home, and I'll just get the most important thing done at the time, what feels right at the time. And maybe the most important thing right now is to do college work, but I've got other times to do that. Right now, I really just want to make sure I've got a podcast ready for New Year. So I still got that done. I'm really pushing my time, but I'm going to my dad's as soon as I finish this. So I don't have to edit this. I don't have to upload it or anything. That's what's so good about live streaming it, is that as soon as I finish this, YouTube's going to process it itself in the background. I'm going to go to my dad's, and in about 1 or 2 hours, or maybe 3 hours at most, it's going to be ready to upload, and I'll upload it as soon as New Year starts. How much are we through this podcast? We're 34 minutes through, man. Time does fly in this podcast, bro. Time does fly. So yeah, that's the perfect examples. And I went around his house, chilled, and yeah, it's happy days. So yeah, I've talked about everything I want to talk about when it comes to New Year's resolutions. That went on for a lot longer than I thought. Maybe I repeated myself a lot, but you know, I'm still a rookie podcaster. I want to be able to smash the podcast. I want to be able to become an amazing podcaster. I really want to be good at this and I know I'm not good at it at the moment. I feel like I'm alright, but I feel like I repeat myself a lot. I rush myself a lot, and I struggle to talk sometimes. Talking for me, I don't know if this is for everybody else, but it takes a lot out of me. Like, it takes a lot of effort. I know I've got a problem with my voice. I've got a bit of a lisp. My nose, I talk through my nose quite a bit, so I sound quite nasally all the time. That's because of the adenoids in my nose. So I've got one or two talking problems technically. And I haven't got a stutter at all, but I have got sometimes I stutter a tiny bit, as you guys have probably seen in my recent videos. But it's not a bad stutter or anything. I'm not trying to make you guys feel sorry for me. I'm just saying, because of all of that, I feel like talking really takes it out of me. Drew, you'll know this. You'll know that you'll know what I'll be able to ask you. If you're listening, I know you leave novels on my podcasts. I'm not saying you have to, but in your comment, if you leave a comment, please just let me know, man. And maybe just leave it now separately. After a podcast, are you actually is your stomach actually tense and you're actually kind of tired just from talking for an hour? Or is it just me because of all these problems that I've got with my talking? I feel like it might just be me, because Joe Rogan can speak for 3-4 hours in a podcast. I don't know if I could do that. I'm sure I could, but talking just aches my jaw a tiny bit, makes me tired, makes me need to take a breath like that just felt really good there, because I don't know if it's just me, or I don't know, I might be going fucking crazy, I don't know. But yeah, so the podcast is something I really want to work on for New Year, guys. I want to make it better. I do want to get a new thumbnail for the podcast actually at some point. Just something more maybe vibrant, something that suits the channel a bit more. I like the thumbnail I've got at the moment, I really do, but I really want to have something that's more stands out a tiny bit more. I want to get a lot of guests on next year. I want to work on getting guests on. I'm not just doing solo podcasts. I want to get Drew on a lot of times. I want to get Matt on a lot of times. I want to get my mate JT Gaming on a lot of times. I want to get Thomas on. I want to get Andy on. Who else, man? Of course, get Oscar on and Kai. Who else is there? All the team of Polly, basically. Matt. So I want to get all these people on. I want to get people it'd be cool to get Morph on, maybe. All these YouTubers that make videos and I can talk to about YouTube. It'd just be awesome to get a lot of guests on next year, and I really want to work on that. And yeah, it'd just be awesome. It would be awesome to do that. So I'm really going to try my best, guys. I'm going to do what I can to make the podcast amazing next year. Hopefully get more people aboard. And I know it's the least popular thing on my channel, but it's the best thing I do. I enjoy doing the most. I love making the podcast. It's absolutely awesome. So yeah, we are 13 subscribers away from hitting 1,500, guys. It's insane. So right, moving on. Let's see. So we got 2016, man. 2016. So everywhere, man. And this is I took this from the Smith Place podcast as well, but I'm gonna add my own thing on it. But he was talking about basically 2016 wasn't even bad. It wasn't even that bad. Everyone, man. I literally mean everyone. Even so many of my mates are saying it, and it's driving me insane. Everyone's saying that 2016 is been the worst year in the world. It's been the worst year ever. Okay, what's happened, man? What's really been that bad? I know we've had bad things happen. Bad things happen every year. Maybe it was worse than 2015, 2014, that kind of thing. Maybe that's why people are saying it. But wasn't the worst year ever. It wasn't the worst year ever. Come on. I don't know my history, but there are some years back in the day that were far worse than 2016. Okay, a couple of celebrities died. Quite a few celebrities died. Yeah, okay. It didn't affect me because I understand, and I'm not saying you guys, I'm not ripping into you for getting upset about your favourite celebrities dying. That'd be stupid of me, because just because I don't really look at celebrities that way, there could be any celebrity dies really, and I care, but I'm not upset about it. I can only think of a few, that maybe one or two that I'd be a bit upset about. Say Will Smith died. I'd be shit, man, that sucks. He was an amazing actor, but I wouldn't really be upset about it. But I do understand the people who do get upset about it, because if the Smith Plays died, for example, I could see myself crying, honestly. I swear. And I've never met the guy in my life, just because of how celebrities... I understand that celebrities can really play a big part of your life. They can, inspire you a lot. They can be a big factor as to you doing something good in your life, maybe. And that's why when they die... For example, David Bowie, my teacher, cried when he died. He cried in class. because David Bowie died and he was constantly crying in class. He couldn't get over it. He couldn't believe it because David Bowie has been his like idol since he was a kid. So I understand it. I understand how people can get upset about that shit. And I just don't really link to like those kind of A-list celebrities like that. For me, it's more YouTubers because I don't really watch TV. I watch films, but I don't really like, love actors and actresses and that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they acted well in that, but I don't really care about them. It's YouTubers, honestly. Like the Smith Plays really is like the only person that I'd be really upset about if he died. Obviously my friends and stuff, but so I understand that. I'm not saying it's bad for you guys to get upset about celebrities dying, but other than celebrities dying, 2016, because I know people say 2016 was awful. A lot of people base that just because celebrities have died. Because of the amount of celebrities that died, that makes 2016 bad. Because it hit us with like David Bowie. I don't even know her name, man, but the girl who played Princess Leia in Star Wars. I never really watched Star Wars, so it's hard for me to remember her name there. I feel bad for not remembering her name, but yeah, I don't know her name. But that girl who died. Who else died, man? Who else died in 2016? Obviously Harambe. Fucking Harambe, man, that drove me insane. Who else, man? Oh, that guy from Good Will Hunting. Was it Robin Williams? Oh no, it wasn't Robbie Williams. Fuck, I need to get this right. Robin Williams dying. It was Robin Williams, yeah. He died on August. Oh, wow, that's quite a while ago, actually. Yeah, like, that's sad. Like, I've seen quite a few films with him in, I'm pretty sure. Like, I know him. I've definitely seen 1 or 2 films with him. And it's kind of sad because, like, he's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. And he died. And it's sad, I know. But other than that, guys, when you think about the years in the past, like the World Wars, man. World War I and World War II. And everything that happened because of that in the years prior and past that, and I don't know my history well. Okay, I got an E in history. I want to learn about history because I find it fascinating, but I don't know my history well, and so I can't name you guys the years. But there were years, like the Great Depression or whatever the fuck it was called in America and some shit. Like I know a bit about that. I'm sure that was a bit worse than 2016. Really think about it. 2016 wasn't that bad. You were fine. Like if you're sitting there typing 2016 was the worst year of my life, like I know subjectively for some people 2016 was pretty shit. If you genuinely personally had a really bad 2016 because maybe like your whole family died or something like that, it's different. But what I'm saying is in general, in the big scale of things, 2016 was not a bad year. It wasn't that bad. There were problems. There's been problems around the world. Obviously, Syria situation is shit. Very shit. What else has happened, man, other than celebrities dying? Donald Trump got elected. But then again, Hillary Clinton could have got elected. Both are like, it's kind of like trying to pick the lesser of two evils. The whole election thing was shit. Apart from that, I mean, that's bad. But, and what about in the big scale of things? It's really not been that bad of a year, guys. It hasn't been. Like I said, in comparison to the past few years, maybe it hasn't been the best year ever. But for you to sit there and be like, 2016 is the worst year ever, I just think that's stupid. It's obviously not. It's like fact that it's not. In the big scale of things, obviously, personally, you guys might have different years, etc. But yeah, it's not. So please don't sit there in the comfort of your own home in your first world country and say 2016 was the worst year ever, because you've got it good, you're fine. It's just not. I don't think it's right to say that. I think you got to look at the positives, man. There's been a lot of positives this year, and obviously, personally, I can say my positive to be my YouTube channel has become a YouTube channel this year, and if you want to call it that, YouTube has finally worked out for me now. Like, it hasn't. I'm only at 1,000 subscribers, but like, it's looking good now, if that makes sense. Whereas before it was really just looking dead. And yeah, I've had a lot of personal achievements this year. I've had some hardships this year. Obviously, everyone does. You go up and down, you go up and down. But like I said, for the third time, the big scale of things, 2016 was not a bad year. It was fine. It maybe wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't awful. People are making it out to sound like it was the worst. Nah, it wasn't. It's fact that it wasn't. There's been worse years in the past. Many years that are worse than 2016. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I was going to check what time we are on. We're 44 minutes in. I will have to end this on the hour because I do need to go to my dad's house. We've got 15 minutes. Got a few things I want to talk about. Do I want to talk about this? I'm looking at a note right now. I'm just thinking, I want to talk about it right now. Let me just think for like 10 seconds. It doesn't really fit this podcast. I'm going to talk about something that happened the other day. I talked about it in a live stream, but I don't really fit this podcast. But I'll fit it in another one, something like that. I do want to tell the story. It's quite an interesting story, but I'll tell it another time. It's not interesting now. Let's just stay on New Year's. I got some like other topics, and I've got New Year topics, and let's stay on New Year's because that's just like a New Year podcast, isn't it? It's like 2017. It's a big thing. It's a New Year. It's like, you know. Is it? The thing is it? Like, oh, we're at 1488. Man, we could hit 1500, bro. We could. I don't know. Let's go every like 10 minutes. It's going up one. I'm not gonna bother working out the maths, but I'm pretty sure by New Year that means we'll go past 4,500. I don't know. We'll see. It'd be awesome if we do it. But I'm not gonna like get upset if it doesn't happen because we're gonna hit it the next day anyway. Well, I can't promise that, but like I'm hoping we do. So yeah. New Year's Eve. Now, sorry, man, I don't have a time to sip of coffee because I got my chest is, and my coffee's cold as fuck. That's not nice. Not what we need. Let's drink this water instead. Happy days. Okay. A lot of my friends are going out on New Year's Eve. Everyone goes out on New Year's Eve. Town is gonna be fucking lit on New Year's Eve. It's going to be an awesome night. I'm sure it'll be good at night. That all my mates have a good night. And I'm not going. I'm 18. I turned 18 this year. This could have been my first New Year's Eve party that I could legally go to. And I'm not going. Do I regret it? No, not really, to be honest. So what I'm doing this year is I'm going to my dad's house. I'm going to chill with him because I don't get to see my dad much at all. He's normally always abroad. And if he's not abroad, he's just working at home. And I don't really go see him because every day I'm honestly like doing something in my room, which I need my setup for. Especially if now I've started live streaming, making videos a lot more. At my dad's, I've got nothing really there apart from him. And there's like I can take my laptop there and play Rocket League, I guess. But like there's nothing really there. So the incentive there to go there, it's kind of tough for me to go there for like a few days because I need to keep coming back. So unless I pre-record videos, it's just tough. So I don't really see him much. So I'm staying around here for New Year's Eve. And I just thought, I was really thinking about it because I was thinking really hard about it. And a lot of people go out on New Year's Eve. They have a great night or whatever, or they have a shit night. It's very possible. The thing is, when you go out, it's very possible to have a shit night. That's the risk you take, and a lot of you are young, you won't be able to relate to this, but when you get older, you'll find that when you decide to go out for like a night drinking with your mates, it's probably going to be a good night, and it has the possibility of being an amazing night. It has the small possibility of it being one of the best nights ever. Honestly, I've had some insane nights, I've had some incredible nights, but I've also had some very shit nights. Anything can happen when you go out. You can easily get into fights when you go out because when alcohol obviously makes everyone just fucking think they can just fight. Makes people feel like they can fight. Makes people angry. Makes people less patient in your clubs. I've had times where I've like literally not too long ago, about a month or two ago. I think I say about a month ago. I was at this club called Yates. It's called Toast on Tuesdays because it's like cheap drinks and that. And on Tuesdays is a student night, so everyone goes. And I went there and I was walking outside, leaving the club with my mates, and I accidentally brushed past someone. Like I touched, it happens all the time in clubs because clubs are quite small for how many people are in there. And I brushed past this guy. And he was like some fucking 6 foot. He was massive, man. He wasn't big like big built, but he was so tall. I brushed past him, and he grabbed my shoulder, turned me around, and I was quite drunk at the time, and I remember him saying to me like watch where you're fucking going, mate, like that, and I was like, what? I was like, what? And we were talking for a while. We talked for ages, and it almost, I swear to God, it almost ended up in a fight, but I didn't want to fight this guy. One, because I probably wouldn't have won. He was like 20. He looked like 25, something like that. He was fucking 7 foot, mate. This guy was so tall. He wasn't 7 foot, but he was so fucking tall. And I was like, this probably isn't going to end well for me. So it didn't end up happening. I didn't run away or anything, but like I was talking to him, and we ended up resolving it. We even ended up shaking hands at the end, and then I just walked off. But that could have easily ended up in being the worst night ever. Because say I had a fight with him, and chances are I probably would have lost it. And then next thing you know, my night's just turned into shit because I've just been beaten up. So anything could happen on the night out. Anything. You could maybe try and pull a girl, and her boyfriend's going to come out of nowhere and beat you up. I'm not saying that your night's going to be bad because you're going to get beaten up, but when you go out drinking around so many people, there's a really big chance your night is going to be shit. You can get your drink spiked. Very extreme, I know, but it's happened to my mate before. It's happened to my mate's girlfriend as well, how she got her drink spiked, and yeah, she was fucked. And people are fucking evil, man. People do that. It's surprising. Like, people do it more than you think. You can give yourself alcohol poisoning. You can get really sick. What else, man? You can lose things. I've lost things before on nights out, because when you're drinking and you're dancing and you're just partying, you can easily lose your phone, your wallet. People can steal things. You can end up wasting a lot of money. And anything, when you go out, there's always quite a bit of a chance that you're going to have a really bad night. Something really bad's going to happen. And the last thing I want is my new year to, the first day of my new year, or first night even, or whatever, or my New Year's Eve night, is to be bad. And I think I'm playing it safe. I'm going to my dad's. I'm not going out because of this. The main reason is because I don't want to wake up on the first day of New Year with a hangover. I want to wake up feeling good, feeling without alcohol in my system, without any drug, alcohol, anything in my system like that, which I know my mate's going to be going and doing. Well, that's fine. Everyone to their own. But for me this year, I'm not feeling it. I almost went out. It's too late now. I got to get a ticket. I had to go buy a ticket, but I almost did it. But I thought, I'm going to try this year. I'm just going to try and just not. I'm going to go to my dad's, have a nice chill night, and wake up the next day, come home, make videos, get stuff done, get college work done, and just, carry on my daily routine as if nothing's happening, because it's the new year. It's still the same. Like, nothing's changing. And that's where people get this, like, shift in motivation. They feel like they can do all these new things just because it's the new year. But really, when you think about it, nothing's changing. It's still the same life, the same routine. I'm just going to keep going, because why not? Things are going well the way I'm doing it at the moment. I'm just going to keep it up. And I'm just not going out this year. Maybe next year I will. Maybe next year I'll have a change of heart. But this year, I'm just going to try it differently. I'm going to try to just have a quiet new year, keep going. And yeah, because I know if I go out drinking, I'm going to wake up the next day not wanting to do anything. Then you're starting your year, like your new year like that, and it's not happening. Last New Year, and I'll probably end the podcast with this. Let me think. Yeah, we're hitting 51 minutes. Maybe not. I want to hit over an hour, so I'm not too sure. But last New Year was a great night, but it ended really bad, man. And this is what I mean. And that kind of sucked to start my new... This is obviously last year's New Year's Eve. So let me tell you this story. I probably told you guys. I might have told you once before in a podcast. I'm not too sure. But how do I start it? So my mate was having a house party. I was 17 years old, so I couldn't go clubbing. I didn't have a fake ID or anything. Was I 17 or was I... Yeah, I would have been 17 years old. That was so stupid of me. Of course I was 17 years old. It was a year ago. So I went to this house party. Everyone was drinking and stuff. And because I was younger, now when I go out and drink, I really don't get drunk. I swear. Like, I drink just like, feel a bit tipsy and maybe get a tiny bit drunk, but I don't really get like drunk, and I control myself. But when I was younger, because it's such a novelty, it's such like, oh, I can drink. And I'm at a house party. There's so many drinks everywhere. It's one of the very few opportunities to drink. So you just do it. So I drank quite a bit, and then me and my mate were on my way back to my house. He was going to stay around, and we were walking back. And guys, this story is true. I swear on my life. I'm not bullshitting you guys. We were walking back, and just before we got to my house, there's this road before, that really steep road. We were going down the road, and we looked at the garden on my left, and I swear, some guy was getting a blowjob in the front garden, like right in front of us. Like, we literally saw it, and we were like, what? We couldn't believe it. We were like, fuck, we started laughing, which was probably bad, but, I mean, it was funny. And we started laughing. And, this guy, like, he saw us laughing, and he, like, zipped himself up. We were already halfway up the hill at this point, so he must have, like, zipped himself up in that, and she probably went in or something. And next thing you know, like, we're hearing footsteps behind us, like, we turn around, and this guy's walking up to us. So this guy looks like 20... I would guess he was like 22, maybe. He was definitely older than us. He had like a beard and shit. And you just tell someone's like an adult. So we're like, oh fuck, like what's going on? So he comes up to us, and he starts pushing me. He pushed me like once or twice, and I'm standing there like, okay, he wasn't taller than me. This guy was like, I'm not saying height matters, but it's obviously they're going to be less intimidating if they're like smaller than you. And I'm 6 foot, and this guy was probably 5'10", maybe. He's just a bit smaller than me, and he wasn't intimidating. Like, some people just look intimidating, some don't. And this guy was pushing me about, and I was like, he shouldn't be pushing me about. Like, I feel like I can take this guy on. So I didn't do anything. I grabbed him by like this bit here. I just kept him at my arm's reach because I didn't want to fight. Last thing I wanted to do was have a fight with this like guy on New Year's Eve. Because fights can end in like brutal ways. I'm just like, nah, I don't want to fight this guy. So I just grabbed him. I was like, mate, just fuck off. Just leave us alone. We don't want any problem. And I just had him at this like arm's reach away from me. And I was looking at his fist. I was just making sure that he doesn't like try and throw a cheap shot or something. So this guy was like, when I had on this, he wasn't even grabbing me at this point. He had his arms like this. He's like, you really want to fucking go? Yeah, like just acting like really tough and that. And my mate wasn't doing anything, to be fair. I don't know why, but he just wasn't. He was just standing there watching it. If he got involved, I'm pretty sure we could have diffused the situation pretty quickly, but he didn't. My mate was just watching. So I had this guy. I was grabbing this guy, and I swear to God, I see this guy come out the house. I don't actually see him come out the house, but he obviously came out the house, and he was walking up quite fast. So this is either his brother or anyone. It could have been anyone. But this guy was intimidating. He looked like, he was like, height-wise, he was like, could have been 6'4", 6'5". Wasn't too built, but like he just looked like he could kick some ass. And he came up to us, and I swear, I thought he was gonna come up, maybe defuse the situation, maybe, but I guess what he's seeing is me grabbing his mate. All I was doing was just keeping him away from me. I didn't want him to get close, because when someone gets close, they can headbutt you, they can punch you, anything. I just wanted to play it safe, keep him away from me. I didn't throw a punch, I didn't hurt him in any way, I was just keeping him away from me. My mate's still standing there. Like, my mate, wasn't one of my best mates or anything, just some mate that was staying around. So, yeah, kind of annoyed that he didn't do anything. I felt like he should have, but he didn't. And this guy comes on, and instead of just coming up and maybe diffusing the situation, or maybe pushing me about a bit, maybe he could have done anything really. He just comes and he just throws a punch. I swear on my life, and I see it happen at the last second, because this guy's walking up. I've got this guy in front of me that I'm trying to keep an eye on so that he doesn't like try anything like cheeky or like cheap, even is the word I was looking for. And this guy just walks up without doing anything, just like he really put himself back and like went for a punch like that. And I literally pulled myself back, like he just missed me. At this point now, I've got 2 people on me, 2 adults on me, and I was like, right, this ain't good. So I was backing off a lot. This guy was like really coming after me, like, fucking come on then. Like, you know how people like act when they're like got adrenaline going through them and that. And this guy like really wanted to kick my ass. I kept backing off. I was trying to say, like, nah, I don't want to fight. Like, I don't want this. And then they turned around and they went for my mate. So at this point, there are 2 women that were also there. One of them was probably the one that was giving head to this guy. They came up to the top of the road and they were, like, pushing my mate around. I'm pretty sure they probably got 1 or 2 hits in on him. And I'm laughing now in hindsight, but at the time, it was scary. It was, like, fucking... If any of you have been in a situation where you know something bad could happen like that, and, like, I don't like confrontation like that. I really don't. I get really uncomfortable in like confrontation in those situations. I'm not like, I don't panic, but like, you know, I just hate the like rush of adrenaline that goes through you that makes you feel like, it's meant to make you feel like stronger, but it makes me feel like weaker. I feel like I can't, I don't know. A lot of adrenaline going through me. I wasn't enjoying the situation. I just wanted this to all end. But my mate was getting kind of like pushed about by these 2 fucking massive women. And then these 2 guys went back. He managed to like dart them and like run over to me. So at this point, the woman and the guy goes home, and this 6'5" guy, the intimidating guy, still comes up to us. Now it's a 2v1 technically. If we were gonna fight, it'd be a 2v1. And this guy, he just walks up to us, he comes close, but because there's 2 of us, we're just standing there, and we're just like, mate, stop, we don't want to, nothing happened, just leave it, drop it, it's New Year, come on, man, just chill. It's not even listed to us, but he just wants to fight. I have people in this, there's people in this area, man, not saying that I live in a rough area, but there's people, I know so many people who just like, they just want to fight, like, there's people everywhere that just, you get this mentality like, oh, if I could have a fight, I want to fucking fight someone. And this is what this guy was. He just came up, grabbed my mate, pushed him into the corner of some guy's front garden, and just started punching him in the head. So my mate's just getting fucking punched. So I come up behind this guy, like, grab his, like, the coat on his back, and just punch him in the back of the head, which is a cheap shot. But I wasn't there to have a fair fight. I was there to just get out of the situation, and my mate was getting fucked up. So I came, punched him in the back of the head, which must have fucking hurt. Like, I put my all into it. I was just protecting my mate. I didn't want to fight this guy, but I couldn't just watch my mate get beaten up. So I punched him in the back of the head, which I can't imagine being pretty. This guy looks really dazed off for a bit. After a few seconds of, like, coming around, not coming around like he got knocked out, but, like, after a few seconds of him, like, realising what just happened, because I hit him hard in the back of the head, like, I put everything into it, he then went again, and he was like, come on, then let's fucking go, like that, and we stood there for a while. We were talking to him about it. He wasn't really listening, but he wasn't coming up to fight us. I think he realised that if he did it again, there probably was going to be a fight. I think he expected at first no one to retaliate. I think he expected to be able to punch my mate and me not to do anything because of what happened earlier, because I was backing off earlier. But no, I managed to get him off my mate, and then we were standing there for like another like 30 seconds, something like that, just like sort of having a go at each other in a sense, because after I punched him, instead of having the flight sort of mode activated, it was more of the fight mode, so I was a bit more confident, knowing that, okay, no, I can like, you know, I'm maybe more, like, powerful than I think, in a sense. It's just, you don't really think rationally in situations like that. It was quite a scary very scary situation. And in the end, we went off. He didn't follow us. Like, we just walked off, and he didn't follow us. He just looked at us, and we turned around, still there at the top of the hill, just looking at us. We walked more, turned around, he's still there. So, and then he just must have fucked off. So, that was the end of that story. That was how I started 2016. That was literally, because that was past New Year, because we left the house party at like 1 a.m, something like that, 1:30 a.m, New Year, January the 1st, and that's how 2016 started for me. And then when we got back to my house, this guy was like, not this guy, my mate was saying like, oh, my fucking head hurts, because he got hit a lot of times. I didn't get hit at all. But, yeah, so that was how 2016 started, and I was just thinking of that. I was like, I don't really want, not that I'm not going out because I know I'm going to get into a fight or something, because it's like most nights you don't get into fights or anything like that, but it can happen, and I know something bad can happen. I know, like, even if nothing bad happens and it's not a shit night, I know that I'm going to wake up with a hangover if I go out and get drunk with my mates and that, and I know I just don't want to. The track I'm on right now is fine. I don't need to go out. I don't need to. I'm probably missing out, and I'll hear all the stories the next day, but I'm not feeling it this year. I'm just really not, and I haven't been feeling it the past couple of weeks either. Like, when I turned 18, I was going out every day, more or less. Going about 4 to 5 times a week, which is bad. Really bad. Drinking that much every week is fucking bad, man. But I just turned 18. There was such a novelty there for me to go out and just make most of me now being legal. And now I just can't be bothered. I've been invited out so many times, I just can't be fucked. Last night I was invited out to a mate's 18th birthday party. Not a close mate. If it was a close mate, I would have went, but just some like sort of like mate at college 18th birthday party, and I just didn't go. Yeah, like, so I just can't really be bothered to drink, man, like, or go out. So yeah, I'm just not doing it. I'm staying with my dad's, and that's how I'm spending my New Year. So let me know how you guys are spending your New Year's. Let me know your goals for 2017. Not your New Year's resolutions, your goals. Don't get fucking ahead of yourselves, guys. It's not gonna work out. You're gonna end up disappointed in yourself. I'm just giving you guys the harsh truth. But yeah, we've talked enough. How long? What are we on? 1 hour and 2 minutes. We've surpassed the hour mark, so we can end it here. I have more topics, but like always, I can save these topics for next podcast. And yeah, so I'll try and do these weekly, guys. I'll think of a schedule. I'll try and get something sorted out. Do them more often. If this live stream works, if this tactic works, then I'll for sure be able to do this more often, like, because it's just a lot easier. Because one of the worst things for me was knowing that I've got such a long render time. But when I render, I can't do anything on my laptop. I can't play Rocket League or anything on my laptop. So I was like, fuck that, man. Yeah. Now that this is an option, they're going to be a lot easier to do, I'm thinking. So I'm going to call it quits here, boys. I'm going to stop this stream now. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, please make sure you leave a like, and please make sure you leave a comment, most of all, most importantly, because comments, if you want to discuss anything, I reply to all comments. We'll have a massive conversation in the comments below. Happy to speak about anything I talked about in the podcast or anything in general. And yeah, let's have a conversation, guys. Leave your comment. Comments are amazing. I'll reply to every single comment that gets left, as always. So thank you for watching, guys. I love you all. Please show your support for the podcast. Maybe like share it on Twitter if you want to, or share it anywhere. Share it with as many people you know. Just let's click the podcast. Let's make it big this year. Let's make it bigger than it is. Because I feel like it's really not big at the moment, and I expected that, but I'd love to get it bigger. So yeah, please show your love for the podcast, guys. Please show your support. If you enjoy it, please leave a like, leave a comment, all the good stuff. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. I think it's quite a good episode. I like how we revolved everything around New Year. We managed to speak for an hour about New Year topics. So, yeah, I like that. I think this is exactly what I wanted from the podcast this time round. So, thank you for watching. I will catch all of you lovely, beautiful people in the next video. So, I love you all and peace.